Imagine waking up and your very first thought isn't good morning, but more like, okay, how can I be better today?
Right.
Better skin, yeah, more energy, maybe a more outgoing personality, way less, be happier. I mean, the mental checklist just rules on.
It really does.
It's this relentless internal monologue, and honestly, for so many of us, it can be just utterly exhausting. This feeling, this like constant pressure to optimize every single aspect of your life. Well, it has a name, betterment burnout.
Yeah, we're hearing that term more and more.
And a lot of people, especially women, seem to be experiencing it. It's that deep exhaustion where your attempts to make the most out of life actually start actively making it worse.
Exactly. It robs you of joy, piles on stress.
Totally.
And what's really fascinating here is that this isn't just, a personal struggle you might be feeling. It's actually a profound cultural phenomenon.
Okay.
So today, our mission is to really unpack why we feel this pervasive need to constantly improve ourselves, even, like you said, to the point of exhaustion.
Right. Let's get into it.
We're going to explore this self-improvement trap, try to dissect what's really driving it, and maybe discover how to pivot, how to move from this draining cycle towards something more balanced, more compassionate, and ultimately a more sustainable path.
Sustainable well-being and growth, yeah.
Exactly. You might even find that less. Less really is more when it comes to genuine betterment.
I like the sound of that. And we've got some great insights to help us on this deep dive, right?
Okay.
We've pulled from wellness journalists, positive psychology experts, even a really vibrant online community, plus some surprising stuff from the world of professional athletes.
Yeah, those parallels are quite revealing.
Okay, so let's unpack this. This feeling of betterment burnout. It's way more common than you might think.
It seems so.
I was struck by this one journalist, actually someone you'd think would be immune given their background in positive psychology. They confessed pretty openly, I've been trying to become a better version of myself since I gained consciousness, and frankly, I am exhausted.
Wow, that's quite a statement.
Isn't it? And it's not just one person's feeling. There was a Bumble survey, huge one, over 25,000 users.
Okay.
It found that a staggering 55% of singles feel pressured to constantly pursue self-improvement. 55%.
That's more than half.
And here's the real kicker. 1 in 4 of those people actually feels unworthy of a partner because of this pressure.
Unworthy. That's heavy.
Think about that, feeling unworthy of connection because you're not improved enough.
Yeah. And when we try to connect this to the bigger picture, this relentless pressure, it often seemed to emerge as a kind of response. A response to a cultural context where we feel, well, a profound lack of control quite often.
Like what?
Well, think about the last few years, right? Global pandemics, ongoing wars, economic uncertainty. So much feels completely out of our hands.
True.
So self-improvement can start to feel like one of the few areas where we do have some agency, a way to maybe regain some sense of control.
Ah, okay. So it's almost a coping mechanism sometimes.
It can be.
Nah.
Which raises that question, yeah. Is this pursuit of betterment always about genuinely flourishing, or is it sometimes just trying to cope with feeling powerless?
That's a really good question.
And what's truly insightful is how closely this betterment burnout mirrors something most of us know. Job burnout.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, the Mayo Clinic points to several causes of job burnout that honestly map almost perfectly onto our self-improvement efforts.
What?
Okay, lack of control. Think about wellness influencers making these huge promises that just don't happen for everyone.
Right. You try the thing, it doesn't work, you feel like a failure.
Exactly. Then there's the lack of clarity. You scroll online, you get totally conflicting advice on diet, exercise, happiness. What are you supposed to believe?
It's overwhelming.
Totally. Add to that, the high demands this pressure to improve in all areas of life at the same time. Just incredibly taxing.
You can't optimize everything simultaneously.
You really can't. And finally, there's this profound loss of balance. You find yourself doing things for a specific outcome, like I have to meditate to be calm, instead of just following what actually brings you joy in that moment.
Yeah.
And the core problem maybe is that self-improvement, by its very nature, it doesn't have a finish line, does it?
No, never. There's always something else.
It constantly generates new self-reflection, new ways you think you fall short. It's like a perpetually moving goalpost.
And you mentioned unequal goalposts, too.
Right, and that's crucial. These goalposts often aren't the same for everyone, depending on identity, background, circumstances, which just makes genuine satisfaction even harder to grasp.
Wow. Okay, so you really hit on something crucial there. This idea that it might be a coping mechanism and how it connects to that inner critic so many of us have. This endless striving, it just feels fueled by this pervasive sense of unworthiness, right? Constantly stoked by that little voice inside.
It's a classic psychological trap.
How does it work? Exactly.
Well, think about it. You set a goal for a better self. That immediately calls forth wanting.
Okay.
That wanting then calls forth striving. And that striving, inevitably, leads to judging.
Judging yourself, judging your progress.
Judging everything. Oh, I like that. Oh, I don't like that. That's good. That's bad. It just creates this critical orientation to your entire experience.
It sounds exhausting just describing it.
It is. And here's the real psychological paradox, the kicker. While your mind is busy doing all that judging and striving,
Yeah.
it isn't here. It isn't present.
It's thinking about the past or the future.
Exactly. It's preoccupied, making you miss the present moment, which is the only place you can actually experience love or peace or happiness.
It's like you're trying so hard to capture the perfect photo of a sunset.
That you miss the sunset itself. Precisely.
Yeah.
And think about it. Hating or criticizing parts of yourself, that potbelly you mentioned, or feeling bad because you didn't speak your mind, that just creates more suffering.
It doesn't actually help you change.
No. It's like believing war can create peace. It's flawed logic. All it does is etch those neurological pathways of suffering deeper into your brain. You're basically training your mind to get better at feeling bad.
Oof. Okay, so we need to reroute that, find a different path.
And the good news is, it seems like the tide is shifting. People are starting to push back.
How so?
Well, that same Bumble survey that found all the pressure, it also found that 68% of women are actively taking steps to accept themselves just as they are right now.
68%. That's a big number.
It is. And 40% said they're only willing to date people who don't want them to change.
Okay, that's powerful. That signals a real shift towards what? Just being okay?
Towards embracing the idea of just being,
Yeah.
which is fundamentally different from constantly pushing for improvement.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, that wellness journalist I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
she shared this really powerful, almost weirdly life-changing moment during the pandemic. She'd felt this constant pressure since high school to exercise, specifically to make herself smaller. But one day, sitting on her couch, feeling that familiar, dreadful urge to go run, she just questioned it.
Instead of just obeying the urge.
Right. And she felt this instant relief, letting go of something that wasn't actually serving her well-being, something that was making her question her own worth instead of promoting self-acceptance, something that was taking her away from just being.
That story really hits home. It shows the potential shift. But, for a lot of people, letting go of that striving feels terrifying, like you're giving up.
Absolutely. There's definitely fear there.
So how do we navigate that fear? How do we actually start with self-compassion when we're so wired for action, for doing?
That's the core question. Even if we genuinely desire change, we absolutely must begin with a sense of compassionate self-acceptance.
Because if you're not okay with yourself now...
How can you ever truly be okay later?
Yeah.
Exactly. And what's crucial to learning to just be, it's rest.
Rest. Seems simple, but maybe it's not.
It's profound. Rest isn't just about recharging your batteries. It's an invitation. An invitation to be with ourselves exactly as we are. To do nothing except be.
That sounds countercultural.
It is. But this space allows us to ask that vital question. Who am I when I am not doing, performing, fixing, or striving?
Finding yourself in the stillness.
Exactly. It's in that stillness that we can begin to reconnect with our present moment, with who we actually are underneath all the doing.
Okay, so conceptually that makes sense. But practically, how do we cultivate this just being and self-compassion when our minds are like running a marathon of striving?
Right. Mindfulness offers some incredibly practical tools here.
Like what?
Okay, so when those signs of betterment burnout start creeping in, the exhaustion, the frustration, the first step is to pause. Just pause. Take a couple of deep breaths.
Okay, pause and breathe.
And then lead with curiosity and compassion. Ask yourself gently, why this need to improve right now? Who or what is driving this feeling? And what if, just as I am in this moment, I am actually enough? What if I'm already worthy?
Asking those questions can shift perspective.
Hugely. Then genuinely evaluate your true intention. Maybe watching The Bachelor with your friends is going to satisfy your needs more deeply in that moment than forcing yourself to go for a run or take that long bath you think you should want.
So it's about tuning into your actual needs, not the shoulds.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's truly for you to decide what satisfies your needs, free from that external pressure cooker.
Okay. What are some other tools? You mentioned mindfulness.
Right. One of the most foundational tools is simply mindfulness of breath. Think of it as your instant pause button.
How does that work?
You just notice your breath, in and out. It's always there. It's your anchor to the now. It stops that frantic future focus, even just for a moment. You don't have to control it or change it. Just observe it, like watching a gentle wave.
Simple, but maybe not easy at first.
It takes practice. And there's also the 3-minute breathing space. It's a really quick, structured way to step out of that automatic pilot mode we get stuck in.
3 minutes. That seems doable.
Totally. You briefly check in, what thoughts are here, what feelings, what body sensations. Then you gently bring your attention to your breath as an anchor for maybe a minute. It helps create that crucial bit of distance from your mind's constant chatter.
So it's about creating space, reframing our relationship with our own mind, maybe?
Exactly that. And what about our bodies, our daily actions? How do we apply this being there?
Good question. How do we bring this into the physical world?
Well, first, when it comes to those thoughts, that inner critic, remember this mantra: thoughts are not facts.
Okay, say more about that.
Our thoughts are just mental events. They come and go like clouds in the sky or like a TV changing channels. The practice is to just observe them without automatically reacting or believing them. That creates distance from the critical mind that wants to judge everything.
So noticing thoughts without getting hooked.
Exactly. And to befriend feelings and physical sensations, especially uncomfortable ones, we can use a body scan.
What's that?
It involves bringing a curious, kind of non-judgmental awareness to sensations throughout your body. If you find tension or discomfort, you gently breathe into it. It's about being with what is, rather than fighting it or trying to fix it immediately.
Learning to tolerate discomfort, maybe.
And learning from it. And for daily life, think about the classic raisin exercise.
Ah, yes, the mindful raisin.
It's not really about the raisin, is it? It's about training your brain to truly be with any moment. You engage all your senses with just one simple object. It teaches your mind to fully inhabit the present, rather than just rushing through life on autopilot.
You can apply that to anything, really.
Absolutely. Mindful eating, mindful walking, mindful dishwashing. You can also try categorizing your daily activities. Which ones are nurturing, they fill your cup, which are draining, they empty it, and which provide a sense of mastery or accomplishment.
And then?
Consciously, try to increase the nurturing ones and maybe decrease or manage the draining ones.
Yeah.
Small shifts can make a big difference.
Okay, this all sounds like the core message is really about radically shifting our relationship with ourselves. Moving from criticism to compassion, from striving to being.
That's a great way to put it.
But what about when we do want to grow or change something? How do we make sure that growth doesn't just become another version of this burnout trap?
Ah, yes. That's the crucial next step. How do we integrate progress sustainably?
Right. And here's an insight I found really interesting. We are here to grow and evolve, and this is actually different from improvement.
Ooh, I like that distinction. Evolution versus improvement.
Yeah. Evolution, seen this way, is more of an organic process. It's nourished by consistent practice, maybe a supportive community, genuine self-care. And it naturally leads to less self-judgment and more sustainable change rather than forced improvement.
Exactly. And this is where the power of small, consistent changes truly shines. It's not about massive leaps. It's about habits.
Habits. Okay.
Yeah, researchers have found that something like 43% of our daily actions are actually habitual. They're automatic.
Wow, almost half.
Right. And James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, really illustrates this well. Tiny, positive changes, if you maintain them over time, can result in pretty amazing exponential growth.
The 1% better idea.
Exactly. These bite-sized changes feel less intimidating, right?
Yeah.
And once they become habits, they kind of build their own momentum for long-term flourishing.
And this applies to, well, everything. Body, mind, work.
Absolutely. It powerfully impacts both our physical well-being and our professional performance. For instance, just a 20-minute walk daily. It's not just exercise. It's like a cognitive supercharger.
How so?
It boosts focus, enhances emotional resilience, almost effortlessly once it's a habit. Same with quality sleep, aiming for that 7 to 9 hours a night.
Yeah.
That directly enhances your decision-making, your creativity, your ability to manage stress.
So setting up a good bedtime routine is key. Less screen time, maybe.
Definitely helps. And even just 10 minutes of daily mindfulness or meditation. We talked about the breath that can measurably improve focus, reduce stress, and boost emotional intelligence over time.
Small inputs, big outputs, potentially.
That's the idea. And when we look specifically at professional growth, seen as this kind of self-evolution, continuous learning is crucial.
But not overwhelming learning.
Right? Think micro-learning. Podcasts like this one, maybe short online courses, reading just a few pages a day from industry books. Journaling is another powerful tool for reflection.
Reflection, not just doing.
Exactly. I knew a bank president who meticulously reviewed his appointments every single week. He reflected on mistakes, successes, lessons learned. He credited that habit for a huge part of his professional success.
Interesting. What about managing time better? That feels like a constant struggle.
Yeah, for time management, there are great frameworks. Like the Eisenhower Matrix is this task, urgent, is it important? That helps you prioritize ruthlessly.
Urgent, important. Got it.
And the Pomodoro technique. That's about working in focus sprints. Maybe 25 minutes fully focused, then a 5-minute break. It's incredibly effective for staying sharp and preventing that mental fatigue.
Breaks are key. And less distraction.
Crucially important. Eliminating distractions, especially those digital notifications, is non-negotiable for deep work. And finally, don't underestimate building strong professional relationships.
The networking piece.
Yeah, but think broader than just networking. Attending industry events, sure, but also engaging thoughtfully on LinkedIn, scheduling regular coffee chats, virtual or real, with colleagues. That builds genuine connection.
And connection matters beyond just work, right?
Immensely. If we look at the really big picture, the Harvard Study of Adult Development, one of the longest studies ever on happiness, found that the quality of our relationships was the single most important contributor to long-term happiness and longevity. More than money, more than fame.
Wow. Relationships first. Okay. That's a lot of incredible insight on building positive habits for evolution, not just stressful improvement. So how do we actually make these habits stick? Because knowing isn't always doing.
So true. This brings us back to the mechanics of habits.
Yeah.
Charles Duhigg's work on the habit loop is really helpful here.
The loop, right. What is it again?
There's a cue, the trigger for the behavior, then the routine, the behavior itself, and finally, the reward, the benefit you get that reinforces the loop.
Cue, routine, reward.
Okay.
So if you want to change an undesirable habit, one powerful technique is habit substitution.
How does that work?
You keep the same cue and the same reward, but you swap out the routine for a better one.
Give me an example.
Okay, let's say you feel overwhelmed by a difficult task at work. That's the cue. Your usual routine is to scroll social media, which gives you a temporary feeling of relief or distraction. That's the reward.
Sounds familiar.
Instead, you could substitute the routine. When you feel overwhelmed, cue, you apply the Pomodoro technique, work focused for 25 minutes. New routine. The reward might still be a sense of relief, but it's productive relief. Plus, you get the satisfaction of making progress.
Swap in the middle part. Clever.
The other great one is habit stacking.
Stacking.
Yeah, you tie a new habit you want to form onto an existing one you already do automatically.
Like if you already drink a cup of coffee every single morning without fail, existing habit, you could stack a new habit onto it, like reading 5 pages of a book while you drink your coffee.
Piggybacking the new habit onto the old one.
Exactly. The key for both substitution and stacking, though, is making sure the reward for the new routine is immediate and satisfying. That's what makes your brain want to repeat it.
Immediate and satisfying rewards. Got it.
This whole discussion about pushing ourselves, habits, performance, it raises a really important question, though. Why do we so often overlook the crucial role of rest and recovery in all this?
Yeah, especially in self-improvement culture, rest can feel like laziness.
Right. But if you look at professional athletes, rest and recovery are absolutely critical, non-negotiable, not just for maximizing performance, but for their overall long-term health.
Why is it so critical?
Because constant stress, whether it's from intense physical training or a demanding job or even strained relationships, keeps the body in a high cortisol fight-or-flight state.
And that's bad.
Well, it prevents healing. Your body needs downtime to repair, rebuild, and actually strengthen itself. Muscle growth, for example, happens primarily during rest, not just during the workout itself.
Huh. I didn't realize that. Growth happens during rest.
Yeah. And when the body simply can't keep up with the demands placed on it, athletes can develop something called overtraining syndrome, or OTS.
Overtraining syndrome, what does that look like?
Studies show it affects a surprising number. maybe 60% of elite athletes, and 30% of non-elite endurance athletes at some point.
60%, wow.
Yeah. And the signs aren't just physical. Sure, there's increased fatigue, decreased performance, maybe muscle aches.
Right.
But also mood disturbances, feeling agitated, trouble sleeping, just a lack of interest in things, increased illness because your immune system is shot, even changes in your resting heart rate.
So it's physical and mental burnout.
Absolutely. It's your whole system saying enough.
Yeah.
That's why true passive rest, taking full rest days, maybe one completely off per week, is so important. It's different from active recovery, like a light walk. Your body needs actual downtime.
Passive rest. Okay.
And we have to mention sleep again. Prioritizing those 7-9 hours of quality sleep per night is fundamental. It's when crucial muscle repair happens, hormones get regulated, your immune system strengthens.
And your mood improves.
Definitely. Good sleep hygiene, cool, dark room, trying to limit screens before bed. It's not trivial, it's foundational.
Okay, so this concept of overtraining, how does it apply to your life, listener, beyond just physical exercise?
That's the key connection.
This idea is such a powerful metaphor, isn't it, for self-improvement in all areas? Just like how over-specializing too early in one sport can lead to burnout in young athletes. Over-striving in every single life area, your relationships, your learning, your career, your health, it can lead to this general betterment burnout.
It's the same principle. Too much demand, not enough recovery.
So it really comes down to finding your unique balance. And it's interesting, insights from online communities, like on Reddit forums discussing burnout, they really echo this.
What are people saying there?
Well, when feeling burnt out, some users talk about managing the imaginary snake of anxiety.
Imaginary snake. I like that.
Yeah. Instead of fighting it head on, they suggest taking little steps, focusing only on what you can actually control, which is often just your reaction.
Right. Managing your response.
And getting back to basics.
Right.
Rediscovering hobbies you dropped, prioritizing simple self-care, maybe journaling things you're grateful for, even small things.
Grounding yourself.
Exactly. And someone mentioned the 90-20 method, working intently for 90 minutes, then taking a full 20-minute break away from the task. It's a great practical example of building that balance into your actual workday.
Applying rest principles to mental work.
Right. So the core takeaway seems to be you have to find what works for you. Everyone's recovery needs, physically and mentally, are individual.
There's no one-size-fits-all prescription.
No. You really need to listen closely to your own body and mind. Be intentional, be mindful about your choices, rather than just blindly pushing harder all the time.
Beautifully put.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's the heart of it, isn't it? True and sustainable growth, whether it's personal or professional, it's not really about frantically chasing some elusive better self or constantly trying to fix supposed flaws.
It's more about
It's about cultivating balance. It's about embracing compassionate self-acceptance, even when it feels hard. And it's about consciously integrating those small, consistent habits into your life in a way that feels nourishing, not depleting. It's that mindful awareness of your present moment, that willingness to sometimes just be, and the strategic, non-guilty application of rest and self-care. That's what will actually allow you to evolve naturally, without falling headfirst into that betterment burnout trap.
Wow. Okay, so after all of that, let's bring it home for everyone listening. If you had to pick just one thing from today's deep dive, just one small shift, maybe one moment of self-compassion to offer yourself, or one tiny habit to try, what would it be?
Just one thing to start.
Yeah. What tiny step could you take, maybe even today, to shift just slightly from that relentless striving towards more mindful being, and maybe, just maybe, discover some of that enoughness that's already within you right now?
A powerful question to sit with.
Definitely something to think about. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep finding your balance.